friends, it's Belinda with Blue Ribbon Designs. I'm back again for my fourth floss tube video. Seriously, the fourth one. I can't believe I'm making another one, but you guys have been super supportive and I'm kind of excited to come back again. I told you I wouldn't be back till I had some exciting stuff to share. I'm not one to just kind of sit and blab along. I kind of have a plan usually. So today I actually have a whole bunch of things to share. I have a couple new quilts to show. I have client needlework finishing and some finishing stuff to talk about. I have sneak peeks of 2 new cross-stitch designs that will be coming out. I have a new quilting project I'm working on, and I might have a little giveaway for everyone. So let's get started. Today is April 7th, Wednesday, and kind of a special day. My husband and I are celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary. 21 years, which doesn't even seem possible. We were talking last night about all the things that have happened since we got married, and starting my company happened right after we got married. So he's been with me every step of the way and been super supportive, and just kind of a fun tidbit that we've been married that long and kind of ages me a little bit. But we're going to try and go out this evening. We're going to pick up my gift. He has a gift for me, so we're going to stop and pick that up, maybe have some dinner. So I probably will not get this edited until tomorrow, so it might be coming at you later than I thought. But we're going to the Smoky Mountains at the end of the month, and I'm really trying to wrap up a lot of loose ends before we get ready to go on this trip. And we're just doing a cabin in the woods, a little getaway right outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So if you have any places I need to go in Gatlinburg, hit me up in the comments or send me an email. But going to be a quiet week for us. Maybe visit a winery or a distillery. I don't think we can go to Dollywood. I don't think it's open the days that we're there, but we wanted to try and do that. But the cabin that we're staying in is beautiful, and I'm really excited about just some fresh mountain air. I wanted to start today by answering a few questions. There's been, several questions in the comments. Some of them have been about quilting, and I know I do a little bit of talking about quilting. I do a lot of talking about cross-stitch. They are both in my wheelhouse. And at some point, yes, I might do some short tutorials for quilters for learning just basic piecing, things you want to, do if you have a sewing machine and maybe you want to do some finishing on your own, or some of the smaller projects or beginner projects that I have come out for sewing and quilting. So I might do some videos on that in the future, but right now I'm really trying to focus a little bit more on my cross stitch and the cross stitch finishing. So we'll see if there's enough excitement in the quilting. But yes, I have heard you. I got several comments about questions on how to quilt, how to make seams lay flat, things like that. I know there's a gazillion videos out there for quilting and beginner quilters and learning to quilt. So do a video search for that. But if you really want to see me show you kind of what I do, I'm happy to do that in future videos. So always leave me comments, let me know what you're thinking. But I have seen those, and I'll look at doing some videos on that in the future. Another set of questions has been about my stitch starter ruler. Kind of, I guess, been talked about because I have them back in stock now. I was out of stock. I started during COVID, and it was really hard for me to get them more manufactured, but it's all straightened out now, and I have plenty in stock. And I got a lot of questions on what is a stitch starter ruler? How do I use it? What's it for? Why can't I just use a piece of cardboard or a regular ruler or a post-it note? And you can do all of those things. I invented this ruler in 2010. Shockingly, it's been that long. It feels like yesterday. But I always used just a square, 3-inch square piece of mat board to start my cross stitch. The 3 inches in, 3 inches down for a framed finish. But I found a lot of times I wanted to use 2 inches or 1 inches, depending on what I was stitching. If it was a small, if it was going in a frame, if it was being matted, if it wasn't, there's just so many variables when you're stitching where you want to start on your fabric. And I decided that there wasn't a clear ruler on the market anywhere. And I thought, I'm going to invent one of these, and you know, I'm going to use my own patented design, and I'm going to come up with something special. So that's what I did years ago. And it's one of my best-selling items, still around today, and I still get questions on it. I will post a link down below of exactly how to use it. I have a PDF online that shows you how to use it. But for those of you who are new that don't know much about my ruler, it's 3 inches square, it's clear acrylic, it's 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's sturdy, it's stable, it's not something that's going to bend or break on you. It's like a rotary cutting ruler for quilting. It's the same consistency and thickness. But it has markings, of course, for your 3-inch start, a 2-inch start, and a 1-inch start. And what that means is if you have your fabric ready to go, and I'm going to stitch my piece on this piece of fabric, and if I start, you can start in any corner you want with this ruler, but let's say we're going to start in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to take my ruler and put it in the corner, and if I put a pin here, this is going to be where my 3-inch start is going to be. If I want a 2-inch seam allowance, I can move it down, 1-inch seam allowance. So you could do that in any corner of your fabric. But the clear just really helps you see the fabric, see exactly where you are, makes it easy to put your pin right in that spot, which is that seam allowance, and then you can count to start on your chart. It also has full ruler markings on one side and then 1/4 and 1/2 inch markings around. This is for if you're working on needlework smalls, or let's say you've stitched a piece and you want to leave 3 inches between the next piece because you're doing a bunch of ornaments or stockings or something on one piece of fabric. This ruler will help you easily measure out the space between. It can also help you if you don't know the count of your fabric and you're counting threads, and you can use your inch markings and count how many threads you have per inch. So there's multiple uses for this tool, but I just found that it being clear was extremely helpful to me. And so I decided to come up with this quite a while ago. The only place you're going to find this ruler is through me. You can find them on my Etsy shop and on my website. They sell for $8 plus shipping, and they are ready to go. I ship usually the same day if the post hasn't been here yet, but if not, the next day. And I think that's all there is on the ruler. But I will post I have a PDF printout that you can print that shows you exactly how to mark your fabric, what it's good for. I know with the camera and trying to hold the fabric, it's hard to see. So I'll get you more details on that down below. Just click on the link and it'll take you right to a PDF that you can print out or just read online. That was the question on that. I've had some questions on needlework finishing and project bag making. And right now, my client list is so full, it's overflowing. I would be happy to take on clients forever. I love what I do. However, my clients are great. They don't put a lot of pressure on me, but I put a lot of pressure on me. And when I can't get pieces back to you in a short enough amount of time that I feel is acceptable, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I start to get anxious and overwhelmed because I have all these people's projects to work on in the house. And right now I have clear storage bins that I store everybody's projects in separately, and I label them, and they have the date and they have what's in there to be done. And then I keep a big spreadsheet, so it's like a work queue. And I work in the order received. So when the orders come in, you go in the bottom of the queue, you move up as I work through orders, and the next order comes in, it goes at the bottom, and so on and so forth. So I work always in the order received. Well, right now, all of the bins are full, and which is very flattering because I'm glad that you trust me with your work. It makes me so happy that you guys think I do a good job. You trust me with your special pieces that you've stitched. But it's come to the point where right now I've had to stop taking on new clients and new orders until I can catch up with what I have right now. And that's so that the people that have already sent me pieces feel like they're being taken care of. And some of the people I've had for 3 months. So that starts to weigh on me really heavy. It's not that I'm not working on them or I'm just letting them sit there, but it was just that before Christmas, I had hundreds of pieces of finishing to do. So many, I couldn't count them all. And it just, the orders have continually come in, and now those bins are all full and I'm feeling a little pressure. So I've stopped taking on new client orders. But once I have a chance to get a little bit more caught up and I feel like I can breathe a little bit, I'll go ahead and take on new clients again, and I'll post that on social media, and I'll post it on my website. I have a finishing page that has pictures and details and information. The next question that's coming a lot, I have an email I send out about project bags that gives you all the pricing, and that's easy. If you send me an email and you say, I want to know about your project bags, I'm happy to reply to you, and I have an email that's already written out and I send it out that has all of those details. Most of my clients, 99.9% of them, send me their own fabrics and I make them into project bags for them. And that's so you can pick your favorite fabrics. Everyone has different things they love. So instead of me trying to make 100 bags and maybe you like 3 or 4 of them, when people send me their own fabric, they get to have exactly what they want on their bags. So this email that I send out tells you how much fabric to send, what's needed for the outer fabric, what's needed for the lining fabric. I supply everything else. I'll supply the fusible fleece, the zipper, the sewing thread, everything else. But the client supplies the outer fabric of the bag and the inner fabric of the bag. There's 4 sizes of bags, and all the details are in the email, but I have a larger project bag, and then I have a smaller project bag for those half sheet patterns. I have a tool bag, and I have a pencil sized bag, an artist bag is what I call it, and I have an accessory bag. So there's multiple sizes. They are all die cut, so they are very consistent. I cut all the pieces with die cutters. So if you need sizes other than what I offer, I do upcharge it to take the time to rotary cut everything. So project bags right now are on hold, but as soon as I feel caught up, I'll start taking those orders again. And I thank you all so much for your excitement and for sending me messages, and the people that have shout out to me in their floss tube videos. That was, I mean, it's so wonderful to have the business, but now I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. As far as finishing, I don't supply a price list. I get asked this all the time. It's because it's different with every project that is sent to me. So I try to charge an hourly rate that I feel is fair, but I never ever get that because the projects take so much time for me. Usually most people want me to supply all the materials. So the pricing can range all over depending on what it is, what materials I have to supply, and how much time I think is going to be involved. Needlework finishing to me is a thankless job. I love the feeling I get when I finish the pieces. I love how they look, and if I was finishing them for me, I would be over the moon. But I try not to use glues. I really don't like to use glue on my projects unless it's absolutely necessary, like mounting something on the top of a box. But as far as flat folds or stand-ups, things that need a lot of glue involved, I don't like to do those type of projects. I really don't take them on. And I am not a big component of the sticky board. I know it's super popular, but I like to use comic book board and batting, and I just do it a little bit differently. All of my trims, everything that I add is pretty much stitched on by hand. So when you send me something like this ornament to do, I have to cut the comic book board, I have to cut batting, I have to mount it all. I use an acid-free tape or I lace it. It depends on the project and how big it is. I hand stitch the layers together. I make my own twisted cord. I hand stitch it all on. I hand stitch on this button. It is not something where I glue it all together and I'm done in 20 minutes. Or I stick it on some sticky board and stick it in something. It just doesn't, that is not the type of finishing I do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that type of finishing. I have nothing against it. It's just not what I do. I feel like putting glue on something after I stitch it is I don't know. I want my pieces to stay around, and I don't know how good glue is going to be in years, or how well, once I ship it to you in the mail, is the button going to stay on that I glued. It just makes me nervous. So I rather do it all by hand, which is, I mean, I love needle and thread, so I guess that makes sense. So an ornament like this might take me a couple hours to finish. And most of my, like this one came, there were 2 of them. There's that cute little fabric on the back and little ribbon. All of the pieces I'm going to show you that I finished, these are all for clients. These are all for the same client. They are not my designs. They are only my finishing work, so I'm not taking credit for any of these designs. It's just, this is how I put them together. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because this is something that gets asked to me all the time. So these 2 little ornaments took me a few hours in an afternoon. I can't charge you $10 to finish one of these. It's just not conducive with having to have the fabrics on hand, the DMC floss on hand, the ribbon on hand, the buttons on hand, the comic book board, the batting, all of the supplies that I use for your pieces, to supply all of that, and the time it takes me to do it all. It's just not conducive for me to charge you $10 for an ornament. I got really, I just want to say down last week because I had a customer that I guess didn't want to pay for my time. They thought that I could do these in 5 minutes, not these particular ornaments, a different project. And it really made me feel bad, like I'm never finishing for anyone again. I'm taking all this down, but I don't want to do that because I truly do find the joy in putting the pieces together and making my clients happy. And I do have a core group of finishing customers that I adore, that treat me right and pay me right. But I don't want to go through those argumental talks and have to explain what I just did about the supplies and the time. So I've been super busy finishing for the last few weeks, just trying to get caught up so I can try and help more people. But right now, I'm not taking on any more finishing. I will show you a few more finishes from this order though. These are all from the same person. And that's another thing. Every order I get is 10 pieces, 12 pieces, 15 pieces. A particular customer right now has needlework finishing. They have project bags. They have quilting projects. That's one customer. It might take me a week and a half, 2 weeks to do everything in one person's order. So when I have 50 orders sitting around, I can't do those in 2 days. Like I feel like I have to slow things down a bit. But these are all from the same person. She's a friend of mine. I love finishing for her because she sends me a message that says, do whatever you want with these. Some things are kitted, some things aren't. I just get to have fun with it. So I did these 2 little ornaments. I believe these are hands-on design if I'm not mistaken, but I thought they finished up really cute, and I found great fabric for the backs that just matched it so perfectly. So I did those last week. I did multiple drums. I did this beauty with these swans on it, which I thought was really cute, with the ribbon at the top. I had questions on this on Instagram. This is a huge drum. And I believe it's Heart and Hand. It's one of their row designs, but this was a special for the Silver Needle. Little help from our stitching friends, Stitching Circle Club, something like that. Long title. But it came with the little flowers that are on the top. This piece took me all afternoon to do. By the time I mounted everything and patted it and put it together, and then I had to hand stitch the chenille around the top and the bottom and the pin, just the whole thing, it took me a whole afternoon. And so that just gives you a little bit of an insight. Some of you might say, well, I can finish that in an hour. And if you can, I'm so happy for you. And I feel more comfortable hand stitching things, so it really takes me some time, but I hope it looks like it's worth it. Like I hope that you can tell how much time and love and expertise is put into each piece. I take it so serious because it's other people's pieces, and I know how attached I become to stuff when I'm stitching it, so I want it to come back to you as good, if not better, than what you expected. This little drum I thought was beautiful. And again, it has hand stitching all around the top, all around the bottom. and everything except for the seam here is done by hand. So this can take me quite a bit of time to do, and I think that's something that we all, if you're sending needlework to a finisher, you either don't know how to finish it, don't want to finish it, don't want to take the time to learn how to finish it, or you just don't enjoy the finishing. So you're sending it to someone else because you want it completed, and obviously you want it done right. And I hope that you're all paying your finishers well, because it is, I really feel like it's a thankless job. So just keep that in mind. The next time you're mailing off a package to your finisher, when they have it for a long period of time and the price might be a little bit more than what you expected, I think good finishing is hard to find, and people should pay for that. And not because I do it, just because all finishers, not just me. I think it's kind of a lost art. I think nowadays people are finishing a lot more, but it's different styles of finishing, traditional finishing. It's a time-consuming job. And for me, I'm a perfectionist, so I really want it to look right. Lastly, I'll show you these two. Well, I guess I have a couple other little things to do. I've got two of these little la-di-da bunnies. Aren't they cute? So they've got fabric on the bottoms and the backs. Beautiful hand-dyed ribbons on them from Lady Dot Creates, rayon ribbon. They have the little linen tails. So these are, again, time-consuming to put together and not your easiest finish, but turn out so adorable. And you hand stitch the nose when you're done. You put the tail on. They really turn out cute. I thought they were very fun. I'm excited to send these back to the stitcher. I've done one for her before, so she now has 3. And then she also sent me this piece, which is a little hanging. I want to say this might be Bent Creek. Don't quote me on that. It came with the wire hanger. Again, I flat finished it. It's all hand stitched. Chenille from Lady Dot Creates, hand stitched around. The hanger is hand stitched on. But I thought that was a really fun finish. This was how it was shown finished. I didn't decide to finish it this way. So that's a little bit about finishing, a little bit about project bags, a little bit about why I'm not taking on new client orders right now. But I'm hoping to be able to do that again in the future. I'm just excited about new designs and my quilting patterns and my cross stitch patterns, and I'm trying to balance it all, and somewhere some of the time has to give. So it could be a while before I'm taking on new clients again. You can always send me a message and ask where I'm at, or if I'm going to be taking on new clients soon. Keep an eye on my website or my blog or my social media. I'm sure I'll announce it there, or here. If you're back for another video, I'll talk about it here. Let's see, what else do I want to mention today? You know, I'm really new to this floss tube thing, and it's been kind of fun for me, not necessarily making the videos, but the comments and the interacting with people has been really fun. I've started following more floss tubers now, and people that I admire, and I was blown away because Lori from Mischievous Stitches, you probably follow her. She has a gazillion followers, and all well deserved, because she's just so calm and quaint and joyful, and you can tell how much she loves needlework in every video, and she works on a range of projects. But I was just really happy to see her working on the Under My Wing pincushion, one of my new designs. And she shared how she finished it and how she put it together and some of the changes she made, which made me happy that she made it her own. And at the end of that video, she talked about how her and her good friend Mary, who is Stitcher211 on Instagram, are doing a Blue Ribbon Design stitch along, which I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, it just makes me happy that even if it's only 2 people stitching along to my designs, it's amazing. But it can be any Blue Ribbon design. They're starting it on April 15th, so tax day. So on Instagram, they're hashtagging it BRD Tax Day SAL. And I'll link that below. anyone can join in, stitch any blue ribbon design. It can be one of my brand new designs like the Under My Wing pin keep, Pasture Parade, my favorite thing sampler, or it can be any of my older designs. I know that Lori is doing a little Quakeresque, which just makes me happy. I'm not sure which project Mary is stitching, but I'm thinking I'm going to reach out to them and possibly, if there's a lot of people stitching along on blue ribbon designs, I might do a drawing for everyone that's hashtagged it, that's working on a project, and give away like a gift certificate to my Etsy shop or something fun. So go check out Lori Mischievous Stitches. Her floss tube from, I want to say it was a week ago. It was called, let me look at my notes here, Crossing Those X's is the name of that floss tube video. Towards the end, she talks about the BRD tax day, SAL, and I hope you will all stitch along. And I'm excited to see pictures out there, hashtagged on Instagram. And like I said, I'll try and come up with a creative way to give away something to a random person working on the stitch along. Okay, so let's get through the rest of this quickly because I don't want to keep you guys too long. I have a new quilt design out called Good for the Goose. I showed a bit of it on a previous floss tube. It was not binded yet. I think it was quilted. Yes, it was. So I'm not going to hold it up. It's huge, but the pattern is available on my Etsy shop. It is all squares and half square triangles, and it is 9 of the same block, but the way the colors are laid out, it just gives it a different look all the way around. I'll try and post a picture in front of my face here that shows you what the whole quilt looks like. But it's great for a beginner. You could make it smaller and do less blocks. Mine is 60 inches by 60 inches, so it's pretty good size, but it's only 9 20-inch blocks. 3 rows of 3 20-inch blocks. And it just turned out really nice. I'm proud of it. I hope you'll go out and take a look at the pattern. And then, not a pattern that I'll be selling, but in last October, Moda, the fabric company Moda, did a stitch along for breast cancer. It was called Stitch Pink, and everyone was stitching it in the Moda grunge line. And I was like, oh, I don't really want another big pink quilt. What can I do? And I went into my stash, and I have all sorts of this fabric line because I loved it so much. And I don't have this binded yet, but it is quilted, and it is 30 blocks. It is 60 inches by 72 inches, so it's huge. I can't show you the whole thing, but it's all different blocks. And the quilting, I will have to put up an inset of the quilting, but my friend Leslie at the Quilted Sunflower did the quilting. See if I can show a bit of it. And it is butterflies, flowers, and birds striped across. I don't know if you can see it that well. It is so cute. And I had wanted to put yellow fabric on the back of this to be cheerful, and we couldn't find a wide back that would work that was yellow. But this red with the blue, it just matches so well. And then the quilting, I can't wait to bind this and just cuddle up with it on a rainy day like today. So I just thought I would share some of it with you. I know it's huge, too big to show the whole thing. Lots and lots of triangles and specialty blocks. It was a fun project. And I'll look and see if the blocks are still available. I think Moda still has them on their website if you wanted to do one for yourself. So those are the 2 new quilt projects. And then I'm working on some more poppy cotton pieces that are for the Kaisley Rose Fabric Tour, and that starts next Monday, and my day is April 16th, Friday. And this fabric line, you guys, it's so cute. So I can't, it's so adorable. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but look at these cute bunnies and bees, roses, flowers. It's, oh, just so cute. Little toadstools. It's very fun. So this particular fabric on the top here comes in the dark red, like a teal, and then a white, which I love it so much. And then look at this for you sampler lovers, alphabets. So there's a white and a pink and a teal, and it's little tiny letters and numbers. There are pretty roses and some plaids, which are, oh, just cute. I'll show you one more of them because it's adorable. Look at these little toadstools, seriously. So this fabric line is called Kaisley Rose. It is coming out this month from Poppy Cotton. I am designing and working on right now adorable springy table runner, some little mug rugs to match a tea cozy. When I posted my newest quilt pattern, I had a picture of it with a teapot and teacups, and I got a lot of comments on the teapot and teacups, and they are actually Longaberger from the Collectors Club years ago. But I love it. It's a beautiful ivory colored teapot and teacups. And I even have like the sugar and the creamer and the whole thing. It's a beautiful set. And so when I was working on this, I said, oh, I'm going to do some, I told them months ago, I'm going to do some stuff for the kitchen. I'm not quite sure what, but maybe a tea cozy. So that's what I'm doing. A tea cozy, some little mug rugs that can go with the teacups that you can have, you know, your scone or your little treat on. A table runner, and I'm going to do a couple tea towels as well. And I think I'm probably going to do one pattern that just includes everything together. They kind of all go together. It's a mix of traditional piecing and some applique, my favorite to do. It's just a neat collection, and the fabrics just make it. So that's going to be coming out. I'll have it on my blog and social media on April 16th. And I'm hoping to have a pattern come out right around that same time with the same items. So fingers crossed I can get that done. Finally, after all of that was a lot, I have, well, not last but not least, I have some new cross stitch patterns that are going to be coming out again. The first one is a design I created as a fundraiser when I was doing the Komen 60-mile walks for breast cancer, the Komen 3-day. A lot of you supported me so much through all of that, and we earned a lot of money for breast cancer research. But this particular design I did for that, I've had a lot of people ask me to release it, and it is one of my favorite ones I did for a fundraiser. Well, let's just show it to you and I'll explain why. It was called Pink Positive, and I'll probably keep the same name with it. I did this as a quilted wall hanging, just like I did the My Favorite Things sampler. Hangs the same way. If you have questions on how I do these and hanging them, watch my floss tube number 2, and it talks about it. But it's Pink Positive because it has all these words: be bold, blossom, inspire, love, like the bright colors. Everything about this is just a positive piece. And I don't think it is too pink for just everyday stitching. Like, I love having this hanging up. It's another one of my happy samplers. It's in my signature style. You can pull out separate pieces and you stitch them on their own. But I am going to release this for everyone now. It's been, this one was done in 2015, so it's been around long enough. I think I can release it for everyone. I did take out the Bluebird box down here and made a small pin keep. So the directions for the pin cushion, as well as putting the wall hanging together and the cross stitch pattern, will all be available soon. And also, this piece was originally done for World of Cross Stitching magazine in 2013. I've made some changes to it. It looks completely different than it did in the magazine. The magazine framed the original in a plain kind of white frame because they do that with most of their pieces. They have a look they're going for. I have redone it and have it in a green frame, a little bit brighter. And there will be some needlework smalls that accompany this, and that's what I'm working on right now in my stitching nest. So there will be a scissor fob that has this little bunny on it. There is a pin keep with this beehive. There are several little pieces that will accompany this. The directions will be in there for all of them. Again, it's a blue ribbon signature sampler with the squares. This is called Sunlight Seeds and Scents. In the magazine, I want to say they just called it Garden Sampler. They didn't like my long title, but Sunlight Seeds and Scents. So both Pink Positive and this design will be coming out, I was hoping at the end of April, but since we're taking a little mini vacation, it will probably be the beginning of May. And I have one more, a small project that I'd like to release at the same time. We'll see how much I can get done. I might be taking it on vacation with me. But those are peeks at 2 new pieces coming out soon. And finally today, lastly, I want to do a little giveaway. I didn't know this was a big thing, but I guess it is on FlossTube. This is not affiliated with YouTube in any way, just something I want to do for my subscribers. So if you would like to have a chance to have my Under My Wing design, which this is a printed copy, I would send you a printed copy. You wouldn't have to download it. And then with it, one of the special vintage zinc ball jar lids. If you would like to have a chance to have one of these sent to you, please be a subscriber and mention the word needle in your comment below. And on my next video, we'll give these to one lucky person. Just something fun to do, and maybe we'll start doing more of these. But I know these lids have been kind of a subject. People are like, well, where do I get them? And people are now searching for the lids, which makes me happy. And I have a big bag of like 25 of them. So I'm going to share the wealth, and somebody at home will have one of these and the pattern to go along with it. So if you're interested in that, drop me a comment, mention the word needle, and I'll let everybody know in the next video who our lucky chosen one is. So that was a whole lot of information in a short amount of time. I'm so glad you stopped by today. I love being in my happy place, surrounded by fabrics and trims and threads. I love talking with you. I know there's so many other FlossTube videos you could be watching, but if you're still here at the end, I appreciate you. Oh, and one more thing. I had an issue with emails coming in a couple weeks ago, and I've had a couple people reach out to me. Why haven't you responded to me? Didn't you get my message? If you have sent me a message and you have not heard back from me within a couple days, please resend, because I feel horrible if you think I'm not responding to your emails. But we had a little bit of a glitch with the system, and it's all back up and running now. And the people that have contacted me and said, didn't you get my message? I've responded to. I try every morning to sit down at my desk for a good hour and just reply to messages. And I try to respond to everyone within a good 24 hours. I get hundreds of messages between finishing and designing and just all the different things I work on. So I would never intentionally not reply to you. If you sent me an email that needed a response or had a question or thought, why didn't she write me back? I probably didn't get it during that time. So please resend it and I'll be happy to get back to you. I don't want anybody to think I left them out. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. I'm excited to go out for my anniversary tonight. Hopefully it'll stop raining. We're having a really, really gloomy day today, and I have the ring light going to try and get some light in the studio. It's just a drab day. But I hope the rest of your week is filled with sunshine and stitches, and I will be back to share more with you when I have more to share. Thanks for stopping by, FlossTube. Bye.